Here, massive machines stand ready, steel beasts built to conquer giant timber. They tear, slice, and shred with unstoppable power, turning forests into sawdust and raw slabs. Welcome to Giant Redwood. In the world of timberwork, raw logs often hold more strength than any saw alone can handle. That's where the wood splitter comes in, a machine designed to snap thick rounds of wood apart with sheer hydraulic force. Picture a cold morning in the yard, logs stacked high, frozen with morning frost. Workers feed one round after another into the splitter's iron jaws. A push of the lever, a low growl of the engine, and a steel wedge drives into the log like a knife through butter. The cracking echo cuts through the air, sharp, raw, satisfying. Some splitters run on diesel engines rumbling like small tractors. Others hum on electric motors, quieter but just as deadly if you lose focus. Each split must be aligned just right. One wrong angle and the wedge can jam, or the wood can burst sideways, with splinters flying like shrapnel. But a good splitter does more than just break logs in half. Bigger machines come with rotating tables, conveyors, even multiple wedges that turn each round into neat stacks of firewood in seconds. For sawmills and firewood yards, this means thousands of pounds processed every day with a fraction of the labor. Still, the power is always respected. Fingers and limbs stay clear of the blade's path. Heavy gloves, steel boots, a sharp mind, all part of staying safe when tons of timber wait to be torn apart. The rhythm of splitting becomes a dance. Logs in, wedges down, pieces out, stacks growing taller by the hour. Mounds of split wood dry in the sun, waiting for a fireplace, a campfire, or a roaring stove somewhere down the line. In the end, the wood splitter is simple but essential. A force multiplier that turns solid trunks into usable fuel and building blocks. One machine, one operator, endless stories written in every split and crack of the grain. Please let us know in the comments. Rate 1 if you found our video interesting, and 0 if you found our video boring. Sometimes a single split isn't enough. That's where the fine wood splitter and the cross splitter, shaped like a giant plus sign, step in. Picture thick logs rolling down a conveyor, each chunk already split once by a massive hydraulic wedge. Now they meet the crosshead, 4 razor-sharp blades arranged like a plus. The log pushes through, cracking clean into perfect quarters in one punch. This setup doesn't just make firewood, it makes uniform, easy-to-stack pieces for packaging, pallets, or wood stoves that burn evenly all night long. Workers watch from behind guardrails, guiding the flow and clearing jams. Each slam of the piston echoes with a satisfying crack, a rhythm that feels as old as chopping wood by hand, but supercharged by steel. Next to the cross splitter, smaller fine splitters pick up the scraps. They break down leftover chunks into kindling or small pieces for specialty uses. Together, these machines turn rough timber into precise building blocks. With no waste, just neat stacks waiting for a new life as heat, furniture, or even art. part of a modern sawmill, the work never stops. And the real heroes are the machines that break timber down, piece by piece, with precision and brute strength. One of the most impressive sights is the horizontal log splitter that can divide a single round into 4 equal parts in a single pass. Imagine a massive hydraulic press. A log rolls in sideways on a conveyor, lines up with a cross-shaped blade, and with a push of a button, the entire round cracks apart like a puzzle. This method keeps cuts consistent and speeds up production for firewood, packaging wood, or wood chips for biomass fuel. Workers stand at safe distances behind shields and rails, watching the flow. Each split is a controlled explosion. The pop and creak of fibers snapping, the wedge sliding through clean. The split pieces tumble onto moving belts, carried off to be stacked or fed into further processing lines. A single machine like this can split tons of timber every hour, all with minimal strain on the crew. Right next to the splitter, the automatic wood saw does its dance. Unlike handheld saws that need constant guidance, this beast works by itself. A conveyor feeds logs into spinning blades that adjust automatically for length and diameter. Sensors read each piece, deciding where to cut to get the best yield with the least waste. The saw hums at a steady pitch as sharp teeth bite through thick rounds. Logs transform into uniform lengths ready for the splitter or for direct sale as firewood. Safety gates and emergency stops protect the operators, but the real safeguard is the precision of the system itself. Every cut calculated, every piece used. Together, the horizontal splitter and the automatic saw make an unstoppable duo. Logs arrive whole, rugged, and heavy. Minutes later, they leave the line in perfect stacks, split, trimmed, and ready to warm homes, fuel plants, or become raw material for new creations. In a modern sawmill, the hum of automation never stops. Logs roll in on massive conveyors, each one scanned and measured by lasers before the first blade even touches bark. The automatic sawmill line is like an orchestra of spinning blades and moving belts. Logs are guided through rip saws and crosscut saws that adjust on the fly, slicing each trunk into boards, beams, and planks with barely an inch of waste. Sensors and computers handle the math. Workers stand by to monitor and clear jams, but the machine does the heavy lifting with clockwork precision. Once the wood is cut to size, the fine wood splitter takes over. Small but mighty, this machine handles leftover offcuts and thicker chunks. A single push of the hydraulic wedge cracks each piece into neat firewood or kindling. Some models even have rotating heads that can split wood twice, creating small, uniform pieces, perfect for wood stoves or package bundles. Together, the automated sawmill and fine splitter turn rugged logs into valuable timber products, ready for furniture, construction, or a warm fire, all with fewer hands, faster output, and a respect for every inch of the tree. High above the forest floor, where sunlight filters through tangled branches, the giant tree trimmer roars to life, a steel beast designed to tame what ladders and chainsaws alone can't reach. This machine isn't just big, it's a marvel of hydraulics and spinning blades. Picture an extendable arm stretching out 30 feet or more, ending in a massive cutting wheel or spinning saw head. Operators sit in a reinforced cab, joystick in hand, inching the boom higher and higher until the blades bite into the dense canopy overhead. Branches thicker than your leg fall away with each pass. The whir of the blades echoes like thunder through the trees. A single sweep can clear hundreds of pounds of tangled limbs in seconds. Branches that once threatened power lines, roads, or other trees below. Safety is everything here. The trimmer's boom can pivot, tilt, and retract to avoid jams or dangerous kickbacks. Thick guard panels protect the operator from falling debris, while cameras and sensors offer a clear view where human eyes can't reach. Every movement is deliberate, each cut planned before the steel teeth ever touch bark. Below, ground crews watch the falling limbs, stacking brush for shredders, or hauling it away for mulch and biomass fuel. Nothing goes to waste. Even the chips and leaves feed the cycle back into the forest or the garden. When the work is done, the canopy stands lighter, brighter, still wild, but safer for everyone living and working beneath it. And the giant tree trimmer rolls on, blades sharp, hydraulics humming, ready for the next stretch of untamed green. forestry and big landscape maintenance, few machines are as commanding or as mesmerizing as the giant tree trimmer. When overgrown branches threaten roads, power lines, or the health of an entire canopy, this steel beast is called in to do what no ladder or handheld saw ever could. Picture a towering arm mounted on a rugged truck, its hydraulic boom unfolding section by section, like a mechanical giant waking up. At the end of the boom spins a circular blade or a multi-blade cutting head, sharp as a razor, hungry for tangled limbs that block sunlight and choke healthy growth. The operator sits in a protective cab, joystick in hand, controlling every angle and rotation. With each gentle push, the boom stretches higher, weaving through branches that sway in the wind. Then comes the bite, a crackle and snap as the blade chews through branches thicker than your arm. Leaves and twigs flutter down in a green rain, feeding the soil or waiting for ground crews to gather them up for mulching. It's not just brute force, it's precise too. Cameras and sensors on the boom tip send live feeds back to the cab. When the canopy is dense, the operator can trim only what's needed to shape the tree, prevent disease, or open a corridor for sunlight. No wild hacking. Every cut is part of the plan. Beneath the tree, a team keeps the area clear. They move logs and brush to chippers, load trailers for biomass fuel, or pile fresh mulch for gardens and parks. Nothing goes to waste. The cycle goes back into the earth, strengthening the roots for seasons to come. Machines like this keep power lines safe from storm damage. They open up hiking trails swallowed by years of unchecked growth. They protect roads from sudden branch falls after heavy winds or snow. And they do it all faster, safer, and cleaner than a whole team with chainsaws and ladders ever could. Yet for all its might, the giant trimmer demands respect. Hydraulic pressure strong enough to snap steel needs constant monitoring. One slip of the blade, one distracted move, and the forest can bite back. That's why operators train for months, learning every swing, every angle, every emergency stop. When the day is done, the forest floor is bright with new light streaming through a cleaned-up canopy. The air feels fresher, the trees stand taller, and the hum of the machine fades into the hush of the woods. The giant tree trimmer rolls on, oil warm, blades sharp, ready for the next stretch of wild green, waiting to be tamed. heavy industry, few machines face a tougher challenge than the ones built to crush stone. Where wood can bend and split, rock resists until the very last second. And that's why these steel beasts exist. Picture a quarry at dawn. Dust hangs in the air as raw boulders, some bigger than a truck, are hauled in by loaders and dumped into massive steel hoppers. Below, hidden from sight, spinning jaws or rotary drums lie in wait, ready to devour what seems unbreakable. The rock crusher is a marvel of force and timing. Giant jaw plates clamp down on granite, limestone or concrete, cracking them open with thousands of pounds of pressure. It's a slow, deep grind, metal against rock, echoing like thunder inside a steel chamber. Sparks fly when a stubborn vein of quartz hits just right. Next in line, the stone grinder picks up where the crusher leaves off. Once the big chunks are broken down, they roll down conveyors onto vibrating screens that sort them by size. The grinder's spinning drums or high-speed impactors then pulverize the stones into gravel, sand, or even powder, fine enough for construction, roads, or cement plants. Inside the machine, it's chaos turned to precision. Wear plates and hardened teeth chew through rock that would snap regular blades like twigs. A constant spray of water keeps dust down, but the noise is unstoppable. A deep mechanical roar that rattles your bones if you stand too close. Safety is non-negotiable here. Operators keep clear of moving parts the size of a car. Emergency shutoffs and guardrails line every catwalk. Even so, maintenance crews inspect the crushing jaws daily. A cracked tooth or a loose bolt can bring tons of spinning steel crashing to a halt. Outside, the broken stone piles up in neat mountains, coarse aggregate for roads, fine dust for asphalt, crushed base for foundations. From a single boulder to truckloads of graded rock, these machines feed the bones of cities, highways, and giant dams. When the shift ends, the quarry grows quiet again. The crushers rest, jaws still coated in grit, ready to roar back to life when the next truckload arrives. In a world built on rock, nothing stands still for long, not when the grinders and crushers are hungry. log yard, not every piece of timber needs to be milled into planks. Some must be crushed, split, and broken down into small, manageable chunks. That's where the powerful hydraulic wood splitter comes in. pressing massive rounds through sharp wedges, cracking them apart like dry firewood. Each push of the piston turns thick logs into neat, stackable pieces. It's quick, precise, and cuts labor to a fraction of the old axe and maul days. But the real game changer is when you add the grab and grind combo. A giant grapple arm lifts heavy trunks off the pile, logs tangled with roots, limbs, and stubborn knots. In one smooth motion, it feeds them straight into the wood crusher. Inside, spinning drums and steel blades tear through bark and fiber, turning rough chunks into clean wood chips, ready for fuel or mulch. One operator, one machine, doing what once took an entire crew. Less waste, more product, and a yard that stays clear and safe. In the world of timber, it's raw force and smart design working together, turning nature's hardest wood into something ready for its next life.